And we're live. Welcome. Good evening, Whiskey Brothers and Whiskey Sisters. Welcome to episode 9. Episode 9 of the Canadian Whisky Journey's Whiskey Review. I'm Dolph. I'm your host tonight, and I'm here with these two cats, the incomparable Blair Phillips and the dashing Davin de Kergommeaux. And they are the authors of this book right here, The Definitive Guide to Canadian Distilleries, the Portable Expert to over 200 distilleries and the spirits they make. And we are here tonight, continuing our Canadian Whisky Journey, rediscovering Lot 40 and discovering something brand new about the Lot 40 Dark Oak. It received 2 awards at the Canadian Whisky Awards 2 weeks ago. They got the gold, and they also got the Award of Excellence for Line Extension category. Is that correct, Davin? It was that one, I think.
Yes, they did, yeah.
All right. And it's a lovely dram. And I cracked this one open last night and been enjoying it ever since. But I also have to say, let's get rid of this thing up top because I'm getting kind of sick of seeing the 21-year-old thing there. This article right here from that site, and here's the article. You guys did a heck of a job with your segue from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to Dr. Don Livermore's revival of this beast of a dram, Lot 40 Dark Oak. You did a fantastic segue. It was really good. But if anyone else wants to see this creative bit of writing, you just have to go to that site right there, CanadianDistilleries.com.
That's such a descriptive URL. They should just memorize it.
They should. That's it. And if you can memorize it, I'm, as a math teacher, really impressed with you. So,
well, it's actually built as a sobriety test.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. 20 characters. Can you do that?
Yes.
Blair, did you ever have, or can you remember the 1990s version of Lot 40?
No, I didn't have it. Back then, I wasn't into whiskey yet. I was a bit too young. Well, not too young, but not into whiskey at the time. I think what I was coming out of just in my 20s, that kind of thing. So,
and you like cocktails too, when you thought of that?
Yeah, I never got a chance to try those original whiskeys back then. I got on board when the 2012 version came out to coincide around the time that maybe a few months after Davin's book came out, his first edition, and that was my introduction to Lot 40, and one of the whiskeys that cemented my interest in Canadian whiskey for sure back in 2012.
Was that one, Davin? Well, we were talking about it before. You do remember it, and could you tell me, is there any link between the 1990s version and Dr. Don's revived Lot 40 concoctions, either the original or the cast strength?
Well, the original, which didn't have that green line on the label, but when they brought it out, it was exactly the same whiskey as it was before.
Okay.
It was exactly the same whiskey that was, but since then, they've done things at the distillery which makes it impossible to produce the same whiskey because they no longer use bin run rye. They use hybrid rye. Hybrid rye, of course, as you know, has a lot more starch. It's made for making good bread, not for making good whiskey. So it produces a lot more alcohol, but it doesn't have the same flavor. It's more consistent, but maybe that's not such a great thing. When you look at Alberta Premium, they use bin run and they get such consistent flavor as well. And they've also gone away from using the malted rye, so it's a different thing altogether. But they've done very well in maintaining that rye profile. I think with the Dark Oak though, man, like honestly, this whiskey, not much left in that bottle. This whiskey I think has everything. It pushes all the buttons. It really could be a huge whiskey if people get to taste it. The way they're rolling it out a little bit at a time, I worry that the enthusiasm isn't going to build fast enough, and they'll move on to something else. But next time you're at my house, let me know, Blair. I've got lots of bottles of all of the 3 originals.
Ooh, that's fun. One of the good things about living in the same province, you're still like 5 hours away from each other, but still nice to be in the same province. And Davin, you did say you thought this one's going to go viral this year, and I agree with you. And it's available in BC and Ontario only right now, I believe. I think Quebec soon, and Alberta. I'm just hoping it comes to us fairly quick. But
I heard that it's coming out to Alberta in September, hopefully.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Don said. But we'll see. We'll see.
6 more months.
He tries to appease us a little bit because we have some very vocal people on the Alberta Scotch Society. We keep texting him all the time. I think he doesn't like the fact that we can DM him directly. I don't think he likes that. But gentlemen, as you take your first sniffs and tastes, I'll give some information. 750 mils, 48%, 100% unmalted rye, finished in pot stills, matured in New American No. 2 char, finished for 11 months in New American Oak No. 4 char. I don't know how much it'll cost in Alberta when it gets here, other provinces, but Ontario, it's plus or minus $60 with tax is what we're thinking. Is that correct, gentlemen? Roughly that? Yeah. Okay. So it's lovely for $60. And I am going to go to you, Blair, for one question, though. Is this something that you would have in cocktails quite a bit? Does this lend itself to cocktails? Because in my mind, not all scotches, ryes, whiskeys, bourbons, most bourbons do in my mind, but not all of them do. Would this lend itself to cocktails as well?
I think definitely. I think it lends itself to everything, to tell you the truth. Like, you could have it just like this, splash of water with ice and a cocktail. Whiskey for a cocktail, probably. I don't think you'd want to start chucking umbrellas into it and that kind of thing, but it's this whiskey can do everything. I just had it shovel my walkway. I just put it outside and it took care of that as well. So this is a whiskey that can do everything.
Those are nice bottles that I haven't had in my hand yet. I'm waiting for it.
Well, you don't have the bottle. I think the extra sweetness, it's really it's loaded with butterscotch, but it's also got some of that, some of that like almost like charcoal type notes that you kind of find in some of the nicer bourbons as well. I think it's more than just a great cocktail whiskey, as you said, Blair. This is a wonderful sipper, honestly.
Oh yeah.
And I had the chance to try this last summer. Dr. Don, we did a tasting of the Alberta Scotch Society, and we tried this last year, and this was a hit. And it was. This and the port finish it went over really, really well. So we've been waiting for this for a little while. And this is different. I enjoy it. Although there's something on the nose that I'm not getting. And I've heard people talk about menthol and mint, and it's something like that. It's not dill. It's a fresh smell at the back that I'm getting, but I'm not placing it. So maybe either of you two gentlemen can help, or maybe you do smell menthol. I don't know. It's minty. It's fresh.
I
do get a bit of it.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I think this is the first one that actually where I do get the dill pickle notes. I think that and those dill pickle notes are so highly sought after by the American connoisseurs.
Yeah.
And now I think Dave Mitten calls them balsamic or balsamic vinegar or something like that. But
a little bit winey.
Sure. Yeah. And but I do get that there, and I think that's one of the reasons why this is just going to soar if people get it. It makes me nervous than rolling it out so slowly.
Well, I find it fresher than winey or balsamic. There's just a freshness, like a herbal, like in your herb garden, you pick the fresh mints, and when you slap them, it's a little bit extra in there, and that's what I'm getting on the back. I don't get that so much on the palate, but I do get it at the finish, the end of my finish, because it's a fairly long finish, which is good for a younger whiskey.
Yeah, it's bright and fresh, as you say, but it's also multi-layered.
That's what makes it hard to dissect, is that it's so layered, and it seems like every single flavor there'd be like another layer of wood just sitting on top of it. It's just so well put together.
Yeah, plywood. The grain changes with each layer. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
I do get spice, but I don't get the pepper that comes often with rye. which I always like it. I love my ryes, period. But this is not a peppery rye. It's a spicy rye, but it's not peppery. No like dry heat, no white pepper at the end. No, I just. All right, let's do the palate then. I get the winey on the palate.
You do.
Not the freshness, but I get the winey on the palate. So it's sweety, winey, not like. Yeah.
I find it dries off really nicely.
Yeah.
And last night I had vanilla, but I'm not getting it now.
I'm getting it. I've got vanilla as well. I'm surprised no one's mentioned it yet.
Palate or the nose or both?
Palate.
Okay. And my finish, it's going from winey to sweet, and then it's minty again in the back, or whatever we want to call it. The freshness, it's either mint or I don't know. I think I expected pepper on in the end. I think I expected it to finish a little harsh, but it didn't finish harsh. It finished bright.
It's kind of like a cherry menthol kind of thing, in my opinion.
Oh.
Right now it is, anyways.
It's menthol.
I can't get rid of that pepper.
A long time ago, but I don't know.
I've got those peppery notes on every sip, Dolph.
Are you getting pepper, like a white pepper, a heated pepper?
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll taste it off the regular lot 40, and then I've got the 12-year-old cast strength. So I'm going to go to both of those and see if I can kind of work it out. But no, I agree that it's probably there because I usually get the pepper, but I'm not getting it. I'm just getting the freshness on the end. It's very different from what I'm used to. And I always have a lot 40. I always have a cast strength and go through it. It's one of my go-tos. When I give rye to people, I usually give them 3 ryes. I give them the Millstone 100. I give them the lot 40. And now I started giving them the Alberta Premium just because of where it ended up. So I like having those 3 ryes side by side. And I can usually pick out pepper quickly when I compare the 3. But not now.
Yeah.
All right. Last comments, gentlemen. Let's go Blair, then Davin, and then we're signing off. We've done 15 minutes. We've said how much we've liked it. Anything new?
I just say, let's hope this gets out there and gets people to try it because it's quite spectacular.
Yeah, I think, as I said before, it's going viral if people can just tune into it. I think people will. If people buy one bottle, they'll buy more bottles.
I agree. This will be one of them, and fantastic price point, $60 for something that you want on your shelf and that you're going to keep drinking. And if you can look at how much Davin and Blair actually have left in their bottle, that's a good sign as well, ladies and gentlemen. So I've seen a lot of their bottles touched a little bit, and these ones have gone down.
My other lot 40 is pretty low too.
Okay, you'll have a love for the lot 40. Good job there, Dr. Don, and good job, gentlemen. Thank you very much, and we will see you next Tuesday. And next Tuesday we are going to do Douglas, and here it is, March 16th. And a beautiful man is the expression that we're going to try next Tuesday. So looking forward to that. And you, Davin, said there's a link to Jay Wheelock in that, or no, it was Blair. Sorry, Blair, you were the one telling us about the link. So hopefully we'll find out a little bit more.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it quite yet.
All right, nope, I won't say anything else. You write the article, and then I'll destroy it for everybody. Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a fantastic night. Cheers, cheers, everything, whatever makes you happy.